You are now locked in to the Sitting Down with the Sisters podcast.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode with Sitting Down with the Sisters. We've missed you as per usual. We are your host. I'm Temi.
I'm Ayo.
And I'm Ashley. Bye. Is she blowing kisses?
Yeah, I do.
What did she do again? Bye. She's always coming with something
a
new.
special admirer watching that you're doing that.
Why do you have
Tell
to
us.
do that?
Did someone send flowers home?
Look at Joe. Anyway.
Oh, the rat.
Oh, right.
So today, guys, you're obviously going to see it in the title below.
Or above,
you see in the title below, wherever,
Mm-hmm.
it's usually below, no?
Yeah.
But today we will be talking about bullying. So if you guys have watched our previous episodes, we've spoken about bullying on social media.
Mm-hmm.
So cyberbullying, but this is different. We're talking about more physical, like face-to-face bullying.
Yes.
Right.
Bullying that has happened maybe in schools or wherever you've experienced bullying, but off social media.
Yeah.
Some may argue that it's a bit more severe of social media because it's more physical. But yeah, we've just going to talk about everything.
Yes.
Maybe share some
experiences.
Hey.
And before we get there, I think we wanted to promote our live end of season episode.
Yeah.
We were supposed to do it in our previous episode, but
guys,
don't
end
mind
of
us.
season.
I know. We're coming to the end of season
Season 3 is ending.
Don't
guys.
worry, there's still 2 more episodes before the live, but we just wanted to tell you now because we're going to be going live from Soapbox Studios for our finale episode 15 of season 3. Be there.
Be there or be
Just wanted to confirm the date for you guys. And we'll be live on our Instagram, Sdwts podcast. Make sure you follow us because, if you miss it,
That's your own.
because you and God.
Alive is alive. You got to be there to live it.
And you don't want to miss it because we'll be doing an episode, a topic live, and you'll be able to interact, comment, and we'll be able to respond live. So all that good stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, man.
So where do we begin?
Where do we even start with
Do
bullying?
you know what?
Like,
I got a question for you guys. To
right.
start.
Let's go on.
Okay.
Tell us, love.
Have you guys ever been bullied?
See, that's what going to be my question, but I actually think we should say what's the definition of bullying, because some people would say it's repeated behavior, like constantly being like abused, or not abused like physically, verbally, whatever, constantly being harassed, constantly being
Picking on someone that's not on your side. That's what you're doing.
But some people say it could be one incident and that's bullying. So
okay, this is what
what's
is what
the
Google
definition?
says. Bullying. Bullying is the seek to harm, intimidate, or coerce someone perceived as vulnerable.
Say it again.
Bullying.
I didn't mean that
talk
part.
about that part.
Bullying is the seek to harm, intimidate, or coerce someone perceived as vulnerable.
Wow.
And you know what? That coerce word, is really standing out to me because you never really think of that. So initially, it's kind of like manipulation.
Yeah.
Someone who you can pick on, and make them do things that they actually don't want to do.
That's what I mean when I said picking on someone that's not on your level, on your own size, because you're doing it to someone that's vulnerable.
Yeah.
And vulnerable is a key word as well.
Wow. Have I even been bullied? Do you know what it is? When I look back at my childhood, I wouldn't say I was bullied, but I would definitely say I was picked on a lot. Bullying, see, that's the thing. I think people use it very differently. Like it's about nuance.
Subjective.
If you felt bullied, maybe you'd say, but I didn't feel bullied. Like when I would go home, it wouldn't follow me home. And I feel like bullying can really affect, it affected my life, but it didn't affect me the way I've seen it affect other people that were bullied, and like how it really follows them through their life and stuff like that. So like obviously it had effects on me. I'll get into detail and whatever. I also think I was a bully. So we'll discuss that.
Yeah, and that's another question that I was going to, we'll get there.
Just to carry on from what you said, I feel like, I could be wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, but with bullying, it's not necessarily how it makes you feel, even though that's a big part of it, but it's how the action that's made towards you.
Of course,
Do you know what I mean? So even though the definition that you've given, like you think it was more being picked on than bullying, being picked on is sort of like a part of bullying.
It's a form of bullying.
It's a form of bullying.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Even though, like you said, you'd probably leave it at school and it wouldn't follow you home, but the action itself was
still
bullying.
there.
Yeah, I'm sure that their intention was to make you not feel good about yourself, and so
Yeah.
What about you, Temi? Have you ever been
Have I
bullied?
been bullied? I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I don't think I've been bullied, but I've had moments where I've had like I don't know if I've necessarily always stood up for myself.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if I've always stood up for myself, but I don't know. From like off memory of what I'm thinking of right now, I don't think I've been bullied before. What about you, Ash?
I don't think I've been bullied. Like you said, the same. I don't think there's been moments where I haven't stood up for myself, but I think that's a whole different.
That's different. That's just
a different
kids
conversation.
being stupid,
I don't think I've from what I can remember, I haven't been bullied. Now the second question: have you been a bully?
I said it. Yeah.
I've never been a bully in my life. One thing I can say, if any like. Stand up forever or forever hold your peace. If I bullied you, get up or forever hold your peace, because I've never bullied them.
What kind of a request is that?
Because that's how you know I'm so sure. The rat got up.
Bye.
But do you get what I mean?
Yeah,
Like I can banter you. Like one thing I can do, I can make fun, I can joke with you, but I only do that when I'm comfortable with you. I wouldn't do that to someone I'm not
Out
familiar
of the blue,
with.
yeah.
Because I
also
don't
about
expect you
heart.
to do it to me. And it's always also about my intentions. My intentions, I've never had intentions to hurt anybody. So I don't think I've ever been a bully, no.
I'll speak on when I believe I was a bully.
Wait, did Ashley answer?
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Go on, babes.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Ashley!
Do you know what? I can say I've been in that crowd where I've like
Just say yes
I've
or
been
no.
friends.
Wait, let her.
Let me explain it first, alright? I'm coming.
I know
Let
where
me
she's
land.
going, and that's real.
I've been in the crowd of seeing people of being friends with
bullies,
a bully.
yeah.
And do you know what? I think the answer would probably be yes, because I know I've been unkind. And even though I wouldn't see it as bullying, I can't conclude or say how that made the other person feel. So that's why I say yes to the answer.
Yeah, I'll
the question,
elaborate
sorry.
for me why I believe I was a bully, and maybe I should speak about the bullying first part. So you could conclude that I was bullied, you can conclude I was picked on, however you want to say it. Personally, I went to a school, it was actually quite predominantly black. There was a lot of black people.
Yeah, definitely.
But what I was picked on a lot for was my skin tone, and I was very much picked on like just for not being conventionally pretty. So those like literally being called ugly to your face, I've said it on the podcast before, different things like that. Like, and I think, and the reason why I want to say that first is because I definitely think that made me become a bully. So the reason, and it was an amalgamation of other things, like, you know, sometimes your childhood trauma, all of that stuff can manifest into you being a bully. But like the reason I think I was a bully was because I knew, this is what I explained it as to somebody else. When I was growing up and I was in secondary school, it was either you were seen or perceived as to be cool or attractive or whatever, or you had to find something else that made you safe in school, that almost made you feel like nobody could step to you, whatever.
Absolutely.
So my thing was that I was funny. And I also always knew how to embarrass people. So my thing was just to Temi has witnessed it, so she was there.
Yeah.
And like the thing is,
I wouldn't go as far as saying you're.
yeah, no, I don't think you would have. But that's because you're my best friend. You wouldn't think I was a bully, and I wasn't a bully. In
But
the
I
way
would
people
say if I
bully other
thought-
people.
okay,
yeah,
yeah.
exactly. It's not
It wasn't
something where
quite- it wasn't
Forms of
extreme.
bullying,
It wasn't
but it can still
extreme.
be bullying.
Yeah, and that's why I want to say some people wouldn't classify it as bullying because it wasn't malicious. Like when I think back to my intention, it was just, I just want to embarrass them maybe, or I want to make people laugh. That was my intention. It was never to like manipulate or to harm them like long term.
Or do you feel like you did it because of what people did to you as well?
Yeah, no, like, because obviously if you don't want to be the person people embarrass, so you embarrass other people.
Right.
Or like after a while it just became funny to me as well. I'm not even gonna lie, like if I know how to make everybody laugh and you're the butt of the joke, then, and it was that, and it was insecurity, because obviously I wasn't secure in myself those times when I was doing that, and I can say that wholeheartedly. And so that's the way you behave when you're not secure in yourself. And so yeah, and even still I know it had an impact on people, because after secondary school I actually felt led by the Lord to apologize to certain people, because even though it wasn't conventional bullying in the way I saw like people pick on me or how people picked on my friends, like it was still something that could have really hurt someone's self-esteem.
Absolutely.
Or
Without
made them
you
feel-
realising.
or made them feel uncomfortable in a friendship group or something along those lines.
Oh,
And
yeah,
so,
definitely. I know exactly what
you
you're
know what I'm
talking
saying?
about,
So like
yeah.
for me, it's like, and it was something that when I came out of secondary school, I was like, wow, like that was ghetto.
Yeah.
Like that was not it.
Yeah.
And and even if you're watching now, and you feel like I bullied you, this is not
Just sorry,
apology.
innit? But
I'm
basically,
sorry.
yeah, like what can you do? You're sorry, innit? But basically,
no.
I think what you say, you were like, come on. I feel like, is it just me? Have you ever looked back, I did this very recently, to like a few days ago. I've looked back and thought of secondary school, even though secondary school was like, oh my God, like such a long time ago, and it feels like a distant memory. But do you ever feel like there were certain times or certain things someone has said to you and you could go back in time and just be like, and question it, are you mad?
Yeah.
Like, who do you think you're talking
Time
to?
and time
Do you
again.
know what I mean? But at that time, I can't speak for you guys, but at that time, it was more like I just never said anything because I don't know what was going through my head, didn't it? I just had my circle of people that I was friends with that respected me, and I didn't care for anyone else. Do you know what I mean? So if someone wanted to be disrespectful, I saw it as just a bit sad, because it was just like you're trying to find validation from other people that probably haven't accepted you, so whatever. But now I don't have that mindset, because obviously now we're older. If someone comes to me and think they can pick on me, you're mad, because it's not gonna happen.
What's
do you know
going
what I mean?
on?
Like, but I still remember there were definitely bullies in our secondary school. I was literally thinking of some of them the other day. Some of you could be watching this. You're probably not bullies anymore. No, you're probably not bullies anymore, and you've changed for the better.
real
Because I'm not
bullies.
gonna lie, at the age we're in now, 23, 24, 25, if you're still a bully, then something is seriously not right
embarrassing.
upstairs.
Yeah.
So obviously, I'm guessing the bullies now are looking back and thinking, oh, I can't believe I did that.
I would
And I
think
hope
so.
Some people, they're not looking back.
Some see that as, oh, that was just secondary school. That was just playing.
It is what it is.
It's not.
It wasn't playing. I still have friends that, you know, they still not necessarily relive the trauma, but they still remember how they felt at the time.
I still
Where it's like,
remember.
yeah, that's how you made me feel at the time,
I
and
still
you've
remember.
moved on, you've
And it's
lived your
crazy
life.
how people change when you've left school. Since we've come out of school, even after uni, the people that would follow you and stuff that you would never think before, like in school you was not this person, in school you wasn't nice, in school, and you can't hold them to that person.
I was
'cause
gonna
you can
say,
grow,
yeah.
you can grow,
People
but like
evolve.
it's just very
Them from secondary school, because we all know, because we're adults now, we all know secondary school was just a fun, like it was a mad time.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But at the time, it didn't feel like it.
wasn't
At
fun
the
at
time,
all.
that was everyone's reality,
and you can't
So,
invalidate it, because that was somebody's life day in day out for
Exactly.
5 years.
Yeah,
Every day.
Yeah, you can't
5
tell.
days a week.
Yeah, and let's not lie, as someone that comes from a psychology background, your childhood definitely makes an impact. Secondary
Yeah.
school is a huge part of your life.
Your childhood
Do you know
trauma
what I mean?
manifests in your adult life, whether you want to
Absolutely. So-
admit it or not.
Still
So
affects me to today.
yeah,
Some
there's some-
things still affect me to today.
There's some people that could be watching this saying, oh yeah, like whoever's, you know, still holding on to their bullying like whatever they were feeling at the
Grow
time in secondary
up.
school, sort of grow out of it. But you can't really like, do you know what I mean? You can't invalidate someone's trauma, especially when there hasn't been an apology. It's so
that's
hard to
one
move
thing I would
past
say.
it when there's
Sometimes
no apology.
there's never going to be an apology. I will
You still
speak
gotta
to
move
that
on.
because I personally think if I was holding on to all the pain and resentment I had as a child, I wouldn't be the person I am today.
Right.
Like the difference, and one of the reasons why I also wouldn't say I was bullied was because I've always had a mouth. If you ever spoke to me, I would always
yeah.
speak back. The same way I would defend my friends. If people picked on my friends, I was defending my friends.
Absolutely.
I've always had that. I was
We
never
have,
scared
yeah.
to not speak, but it was more like now, if I had, like what I was leading on to say is that if I didn't, I'm thankful I was like that as a child, because I do think it helped people to actually realize, wait, don't talk to her.
Don't
One.
disrespect her.
And two, it's I don't know, it allowed me to have some control over what happened, because now I've been able to say, oh, that wasn't nice, but it didn't define me. What they said about me doesn't matter.
Right.
But like, say for instance, you're still carrying trauma, you do have to let go. Even if nobody apologizes to you, you do, because you will be bitter and project that onto people for the rest of your
Exactly.
life, and it will
Yeah.
affect the people around
It's
you.
like that quote that says, what happens to you isn't your fault,
Yeah.
but what you do hang
About
on
it
to,
has
that
on your
essentially
control.
that is your fault. What you are in control of, you have to do something about it.
Yeah.
And like you said, you do have to let go, and it's being okay with the fact that sometimes in life you will not get an apology
Yeah.
for the way people treat you, for some
100.
of the things that people say to you. And obviously we're not saying that that's okay and that's justified, and you should just go about your life not apologizing to people. If you know you've done something wrong to someone and it's on your heart, go and apologize. Drop the pride.
Yeah.
Go and apologize. But you also have to take into account as well that there are some people who are just living their life blasey or
And don't even
whatever. And
Can you imagine?
they the way it's on your mind, it's not on theirs.
Yeah.
They don't even remember. That's why, have you ever had the instance where you pull someone up on something and they'll literally be like, what, I said that?
Yeah.
And they'll
I've
literally I've been in that
instance situation
also,
where someone's
but I'm
pulled me
literally
up and like, oh my gosh.
I said it like that. Like,
But guess what? I'm happy that they've pulled me up on it, because guess what? Moving forward, I'm more cautious in terms of
Right,
what the
exactly.
things I say.
and you're conscious about it as well.
I would rather I get told, because we're human beings. Sometimes we can say things unconsciously, or we could mean it separately from how someone takes it. So if someone can address it with you and be like, oh, you know, this is what you just said and this is how it made me feel, you know, we can move past that, rather than holding on to, like, you know, a grudge and acting differently towards me and I don't know the reason why. Do you get what I mean?
So what steps do you think then need to be put in place, say for like secondary school, because you know one day we're gonna have children, our children are gonna be in secondary school, and you know like you said, some people love to use the excuse of, oh, that's just secondary school, it is what it is, get over it. But what steps do you think then need to be put in place in secondary school so that bullying period doesn't take place?
I'm gonna teach my kids how to fight.
Yeah, one. But before we even discuss it, because I think that should be like the closing bit, because you said more was yours was more of a group thing. I think speak about it from that perspective before we then talk about the.
Oh, in terms of like the crowd.
Yeah.
Well, like I would say it was a kind of similar to your experience in terms of seeing someone pick on someone else and making someone the butt of the joke, and then being a part of that crowd and laughing and then kind of adding to the joke, like adding fuel to the fire essentially. Like, you know, when you make jokes about someone and everybody's laughing and you know you can say something that's even funnier, so you add it on top. So that for some people might just think, oh, that's banter. No, that's bullying.
And that's
especially
peer
if
pressure.
the person isn't laughing, or even if they are laughing, but you can tell it's like a nervous laugh because they don't want to look like they can't take a joke. That's what I was saying in terms of being in that sort of crowd, not sticking up for people when I'm seeing that they're being treated a certain way, or even seeing someone being excluded because they don't fit the status quo of that friendship group.
And I feel like
adding to it and not doing something about it, I would say that's how I contributed to being a bully essentially.
And I feel like usually the weakest links, like when it comes to bullying, are those that are I missed my point now, never mind.
People enabling the bully?
People, enabling the bullying, but there was something specifically I wanted to put.
It'll come back to you.
Yeah.
The exclusion.
It's the peer pressure.
The peer pressure.
Literally the peer pressure, because those are the people you have to look out for, because if you look deeply, those ones that do it when they're in a crowd of people would never do it by themselves.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
That's
They
why
wouldn't do
I
it by
had to check
themselves.
myself, because I realised when that was happening, that was like year 7 and year 8, and it was like, oh, I want these people to like me. I want to solidify my position in this group.
Because in
sort of thing.
you know, in secondary school, I don't know if you remember, a lot of people, if you can think back, the bullying happened in like groups of people, but when you see them on a weekend by themselves, they don't talk
they're
to
nice.
You. No,
they won't say anything.
Or they won't say anything. They're just going about their bit. Or they can't look at you.
Yeah,
because they know what they've done. Do you know what I mean?
So do you think it comes with age then? Because obviously for me that was more so year 7, year 8. From year 9, year 10, year 11, I was someone where like I went from group to group to group. Like I didn't have one solid group. Like I was friends with everybody. If my like best friend or whoever wasn't in, I was completely calm. Like I was able to get along with other people.
I do think it comes with age.
I was going to say I don't think it comes with age, because there were people that were bullying in year 11. I personally just think, because for me, even when I feel like I was picking on people, I was doing it by myself. I wasn't using a collective to do it. I was just doing it by
sort
myself.
of bullying though, like where it's almost like
collective.
Collective
because the popular people used to bully people still in year 11. It didn't stop. It just the bullying changes.
So then
when you're in year 7,
why do you think that? Like why do you think that
because it's in secondary school, it's a clout thing. You guys are known as the people. You lot are like untouchable, so you can make fun of anyone and everyone's laughing. And when people laugh, people like to be the person that can make people laugh. Everybody likes that role in a friendship, whatever.
You're that guy,
and so that can just follow. And then when you've developed that rapport with a person, sometimes it's hard to just check yourself and be like, what am I doing here? So sometimes it follows you. People even still get bullied in the workplace. I'd even want us to because bullying doesn't only exist in secondary school. Bullying
outside
goes
of that as well.
People get bullied in uni, people get bullied at work, people get bullied everywhere. People,
it's true. That's why the argument of age does not really contribute. But I feel like the reason why
to an extent, yes, but overall,
the reason why I said maybe age does contribute is because a lot of it starts from secondary school, and you're around people the same age as you, young people, and you pick up bad habits very quickly. You don't know yourself. Very impressionable. Do you know what I mean? So you're basically like a sponge. You're taking things in at that age. Do you know what I mean? And a lot of people do outgrow it after secondary. A lot of people. Of course, you still have the outliers that still decide they want to carry on outside secondary school. Do you know what I mean? I think that's very backwards with what. But do you get what I mean? Majority of it happens in secondary school. But you are right. It happens in the workplace. It happens everywhere.
I think the same amount of people are still bullying outside of school.
I don't.
I think it's a character flaw. The same way it's a character flaw I think it's more excusable in secondary school versus when you're an adult.
Oh yeah,
because when you're an adult, it's a character flaw.
Right, of course, because now you're an adult and you haven't worked on yourself.
You should know better.
Yeah.
And then you see traits of bullies in people as adult. At the age we are, I can see in a person. If I meet a person, I can see if they're a bully.
Yeah.
Like I can see if you have the character flaws that represent bullies.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean. But I get what you're saying. Like it starts in secondary school, and there's a type of bullying that happens in secondary school, and then the bullying almost matures and becomes a different type of bullying as you get older.
Can you imagine?
Do you know what I'm saying?
Matures.
Yeah,
No, it's
yeah,
true.
100%.
It changes to something else.
But
So what's an
your
example?
question?
What's an example of like bullying in the workplace? Then, say if someone's watching this and they're being bullied in the workplace, but they feel like they don't know whether to identify it as bullying or if they just think it's bants or
if it's
like,
continuous and it makes you feel less than of a person. Say for instance, you're always being teased about the food that you eat because you're African and you're always bringing in food and
at lunchtime,
continuously. Banter is meant to still have a layer of respect. When we banter each other, we're not hitting below the belt. You're not talking about people's appearance. You're not talking when they're talking about stuff that is about your culture, your background, things that you cannot control, out of your control, and then it's continuous. It doesn't even have to be continuous.
And it's making you feel really bad.
Like it makes you feel uncomfortable.
It's even making you feel like
it's a
embarrassed,
HR problem.
essentially. Like the next day,
Yeah.
we're like, oh, I need to hide my food.
can't
I
come
need to
in.
do this. I need to do
Ring
that.
on the HR. Call me. I sort it out.
Not
for you.
There you
ring
go.
on the HR.
Because I'm telling you, people are bullies in this very day, our age group. That's why I said I don't want to make it seem like it's only. Look at all the people bullying people on flipping Twitter. This is not about social media bullying, but I mean the character traits that you see.
These are grown people.
If you can do it there, how much more are you doing it in your real life?
Facts.
Do you get what I mean? So
even bullying in friendship groups.
Oh my
'Cause
gosh,
I feel like
what?
we need to talk about that.
That's not spoken about.
It's a real thing.
People love to like, for example, an example of someone might be thinking, what's bullying in friendship groups? An example I can give is a friend that always when she or he has the opportunity to embarrass you in front of other people or to put you down or to use something that you've told them against you almost as a joke or just to use or just mocking like your appearance but using it under the guise of a joke. We're mates,
like indirectly,
we're bros, we're sisters, like this is what we do.
Exactly.
Baby, that's bullying.
Jet. Because the reason I want to talk about that is because we're obviously we have other friends that we know as a three, but like we are a circle, as in
individual ones too.
As in we are a three as well as just a group. That's just us guys.
Yeah.
And some people are always like girl friendships that are three never work because two people are closer to the other.
Right.
And I always tell them no, it's about the people in the friendship. It's not about the fact that there's only three. It's about the people that make up the friendship
And the type of mentality they have.
As two, say me and Temi, we have our relationship. Temi and Ashley have their own relationship. Me and Ashley have our own relationship. But as a three, we also still work. And there's no animosity at all. But that's because three of us are mature women that can exist and coexist with each other.
And it's so funny you said that because I remember someone even asked me, have I ever felt left out because you two have known each other longer? And that's why that point is so I put an emphasis on that because it's really about the mentality of the people that you're friends with, because these two have never given me a reason or made me feel left out. So why would I now water that seed if they've never made me feel like that? Do you get what I'm saying?
I feel like sometimes people just try to find issues out of nothing.
Exactly.
I think it's sad, it's honestly sad because the way the person was asking as well, they weren't asking like out of sincerity or curiosity.
Just
they
to
were asking,
make you.
They were asking like, has
don't be jealous.
You've known each other longer.
They can go make their own friendship.
That's
it's okay.
weird.
Don't
Why
be
are you
jealous.
asking her that?
I know it was a very odd question, but I mean I don't say I get why they ask it.
No, they're jealous. I'm sorry. Don't be jealous. Like, I don't know why. Why is it when you have a friendship, like a friendship group like ours, like why do people like?
They always think there's something.
There's always something.
Like,
and even if there was something, there's a reason why we like. If we don't have issues, but even if we did, we're able to sort our issues out. We're grown women with
amongst ourselves.
We don't need to bring our issues outside of the friendship for everyone to know. And so if they're asking stupid questions, it's like the fact that you don't know means something. It's not your business, bro. Sis,
bye. And I would say if you are in a friendship group, like
sorry, I just
obviously I feel like yes, there's us three, but like we said, there's other people that we know, like we're in not a bigger friendship group, but other people. I would say for people who are like in a bigger friendship group, like say there's like 10 plus of you, that's completely different. And I would say if you are experiencing that where there's that one person, it's like that video that you saw, I don't know if you guys saw it on social media, of how it was, I think they're Somalian, I'm not sure, and they were doing a TikTok.
Well, like East African.
Yeah, they were doing a TikTok.
I saw.
And then the girl is just
Ripped the lashes off the girl.
Randomly, unprovoked, rips one lash off the girl, and the girl just looks at her like,
Why would you do
Why
that?
would you do that? And she storms off, and you can tell that's not the first time
I was
something
gonna
like
say
that has happened.
That's why
Because her reaction.
Because of her reaction, I was literally gonna say that. You know, you can always tell. Like,
Yeah.
if it was the first time, maybe she wouldn't have reacted the way she did.
Should've
Maybe
been
she
like,
would have been
"What
like,
the
"What's
hell?"
going on?" Or maybe have laughed. But you can tell she's been onto her.
Yeah.
She's been out to
Even the
get
way
her.
she was looking at her prior to her ripping off that lash, and I use
That's
that
a run away
example
from friends
to say,
like
if
that.
you have a
Run.
friend like that sort of vibe,
They're bullying you. You just don't realize.
yeah.
Oh,
And
100%.
if you're someone where you want to still be their friend, either pull them up about it,
Yes.
sit them down, explain to them, this is what you're doing. I don't know whether you're aware of it or not, but this is
what's
how it's coming off.
happening.
This is how it's making me feel. You need to check yourself, because
100%.
otherwise our friendship is going to end.
Yeah.
And obviously it's now on them to
Yeah.
decide what they're going to do.
Yeah.
And if it does carry on, you know, it's very possible to love people from a distance.
Oh.
Yes, you can do it.
So yeah,
Fact.
And the second thing is,
Things like that grind
if
my
you don't
gears.
want to be their friend anymore, you have ground. Listen, I always say to people, it is your God-given right to guard your heart and to create boundaries
at
and to
all
protect
costs.
yourself, regardless of how other people feel about it.
100%.
So if someone is now making you feel a type of way, regardless of how they feel, even if you don't want to pull them up about it because you're not confrontational, you don't know how to have that sort of conversation, it's within your right to distance yourself. And that distancing doesn't now mean that you're indirecting them, you're cussing them on Snapchat
No.
or whatever. No, it just means
That's
you're quietly removing yourself from the situation
Facts.
for your peace of mind.
Yes.
End of story.
Period.
Point blank. Period.
So like, to bring your question back from before about what to do and
what
how
measures
to
need to be
avoid
put in
bullying
place.
and stuff in school,
I think teachers need to do more.
100%.
Teachers need to
But
do
then
more.
I feel like people don't go to teachers when it's like that. Like, I don't envision myself telling a teacher if I was getting bullied. I wouldn't envision. So I
But you
think,
know how everyone has that one teacher in school
oh yeah, that was
where
cool.
like
Yeah, 100%.
at least go to them. And I get like you don't want to look like a snitch, or I'm so sorry, these are not the streets. This is secondary school.
Not everyone has one teacher though.
That's what I was going to say.
yeah.
So I personally think it's more about the people that are bringing up children. Bring up children that are inclusive.
Facts.
Because for me, I remember when I was a bully, that's one thing you almost pry at people that are almost like on the outer edges of a friendship, because it's easy to make them feel embarrassed and stuff. And that's why
People that are vulnerable,
yeah,
like you said.
over the years, I've become such a person where I need to make sure everybody feels welcome around me, because I know how it feels to feel like you're the person that is on the outside.
Outlier, yeah.
And nobody. So maybe bring up your children to be people that are very inclusive. Bring up your children to be people that call out BS.
Facts.
Yeah.
Because I think that's the type of stuff that was missing in secondary
Facts.
school. When we were in school and people were teasing people, everybody was keeping quiet. Only some
No one
people
was
stood up
saying
for
anything.
people. And it's only if you
And that would have
if you
gone a
were
long
way.
A very, very,
Be like, okay,
very
like
long
you guys
way.
stop now. Like,
Like,
what
we
you're
can-
doing, you're
And
crossing
we
the
can
line.
understand, like, I'm a type of person, I don't like confrontation. I really don't like it. But the older I get, the more I realise sometimes it has to
necessary.
happen.
Yeah, it has
With this
to.
world that we live in, you can't let people walk all over.
You
So
need
you have
to.
to be able to learn how to do it from
Yeah.
a young age as well.
Yeah, because I know in school what the whole thing was if you speak up, they might bully you. You also have to just take into consideration that what's more important is that somebody else feels protected right now. Because maybe if they're gonna bully you, they'll bully you together. At least there's two of you instead of that one person that's just ostracized to the corner.
Facts.
And that's for me. I'm really big on speaking up for people if you can, because
Definitely.
some people
man.
I
are
agree.
like Temi, as she said, she's grown. Like Temi was more quiet back in the day. When people, she didn't get bullied, but if somebody said something to her, I would not let them say it to her because I don't like it. It's not nice to make people feel small.
Not at
And it's
all.
beautiful to have a friend like that.
Facts.
It's important.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that was missing in secondary school. People weren't doing that. So I think that's one thing as
Like,
well.
if
And honestly, I would. Sorry, go on.
No, you go on, you go on.
I would want my child to tell me if like
They were
someone
being
was being
bullied.
nasty or
yeah.
rude, because I'm so sorry. I'm
I'll
getting
tell them
involved.
to go bring your mum, man. We need
I'm
to
getting involved.
I'm fighting
I'm
the girl,
going
the
to that
person.
child's parent.
I'm not even talking to the. I'm talking to
I'm
the
not going
child
to
as
school.
well.
I'm going straight and bring your child and yourself. Bring both.
I'm
your-
talking to the
your blood
child.
clots.
Yeah,
I'm
bye.
talking to the child. Don't you ever in your life, if I ever hear that you're doing it again, I'll be here again.
You know, I'll pull my ear. Like, I'll ask the child, what's your name?
That's the thing.
I'll say your name 3 times. That's what we do in Africa. Listen, I don't know where you're from.
Yeah.
Where I'm from, that's what we do.
We don't do that.
We don't do that.
Actually, let me not even say that story time because I don't know if this person would want me to share it. But
Okay.
honestly, I feel like that's why I'm so big on creating a healthy relationship with our children.
Yes.
And not making your children feel like, oh, you're not their friend.
You can't approach.
That you can't approach them, because I would want my child to come to me and be like, Mum, this is what's going on. You know, X, Y, and Z. I'm getting involved. Like
I'm
me
getting
and the
involved.
parent one-on-one. Like we're talking.
We need to sit down. I'm going past the head teacher to
Why
school.
is your child
We're going
a bully?
directly to the
Facts.
source. We
There's
need to sit
something
down.
going on at
because
home,
I feel
fix
like when
it.
it happens at schools they don't really as they don't take it
They're
as
almost like,
seriously.
oh, they're only
They
joking.
try to
It's
mediate.
playtime.
Don't mediate. It's not a mediating situation.
No.
We need to. I'm gonna sit down with the parent. If I have to question your parenting skills, I'm absolutely
will.
doing so.
Yeah.
Because what the hell is your child
And
doing?
if they're
bullying
using
my
that excuse,
child?
it's playtime. Okay, let's meet with all the parents, and I'm gonna the same jokes that your child
We'll
is.
do playtime
I'm doing
with
you, and
you.
we'll see if it's playtime.
100%.
I'll be that mum, you know. I'm gonna wear my hat. I'm not wearing a wig. I'm coming to school.
Because what do you?
Are you
what the
alright?
hell
I'm
do you
coming on
mean?
smoke.
What are you doing?
No reals. Because that's one thing I really, really appreciate about parents of this generation. Like, they take their kids seriously. Like, there's a woman on TikTok. She took her kid out of the school. The school didn't do anything. She said, "Okay, we're moving because I don't care. My child doesn't have to go through this every single day, and the school doesn't care." And
What
the
is
child,
that?
when the
Suffering
child
for what?
saw his new uniform, I don't think you understand the joy that was on his face. He couldn't believe it. He was so happy. And so for a lot of us, if that was happening to us in school, sometimes we might not feel like we could tell our parents, and then
Yeah,
so we'd have to
man.
withstand it. A lot of us probably couldn't have said
And
anything.
it's so sad because schools have this stupid thing where they're so big on opening their stupid mouth to be claiming, oh yeah, we zero policy on bullying. They're so big on that. Oh, we
You don't have a zero
policy on bullying. No, you don't, because a lot of kids are still suffering from bullying. So what zero policy exactly are you talking about?
And you want your students to come and tell you. When they tell you, you don't even take it seriously.
Mate, you don't even have to read
All you
body
do
language.
is you move them in the classroom. They've gone from sitting at the front to the side of the classroom.
Rubbish.
What's that supposed to do?
And then when playtime, you're mixing all of them together. That's where it then goes and
Like,
happens.
people need to start making examples out of bullies too. There's certain
Facts.
things I believe in, violence. I don't mean violence, physical violence, but I mean doing very intentional things that make it known that that behavior
It's unacceptable.
is
And you
unacceptable.
should never do it
Not
again.
allowed.
Make an usually what happens when teachers deal with bullying is they make the person that is bullied change. So like you said, move them to a different class, move them there. Why don't you make an example out of the bullies? Why was that never the thing that you did? Why didn't you call them up? In Nigeria, do you know what they do to people that are causing trouble? They bring you to the front of the class
And they beat you in front of
beat you.
everyone. You get the embarrassment.
We're not saying we should beat kids, but I'm just saying you should sometimes the people that are embarrassing people need to be embarrassed.
Because you know with kids they have this mentality, if they think back to if they see something happening, they're less likely to do it. And if they don't want to be involved in it, if they don't want to be associated with it, they will remember back to the times when it was done to someone else and they wouldn't do it. And the bullies themselves that are going through would not want to repeat that behavior again because they've been punished for it.
And obviously, I also believe in looking into what that bully is going through, because I know bullies are not just bullies for no reason. A lot of people are bullying because there's problems. So that
something's going on at home.
That too needs work. So I'm not saying forget that, because I also don't believe in just they're bullying them back. No. Obviously, deal with the real core issue. But sometimes, if they're just being a brat, a rat.
A brat and a rat.
Yeah, then they need to be
tried
told.
everything and they're still not trying.
They need to be told. I'm sorry.
Those that don't listen must.
Yeah, those that don't hear must feel.
That's on.
That's on.
Yeah, no. So that's really it.
That's on 19. No COVID.
Oh my god!
This girl's always coming with something new. That's what, Ashley. First is facts, no printer.
You know
That's
what?
on 19.
We'll
no
let you
COVID.
guys go because Ashley is really doing something right now.
She said what?
Leave a comment down below. Share your thoughts on the topic.
honestly.
Thank you for coming through as usual. Don't forget we have a live show coming up at the end of the season. We'll keep you posted.
Yep.
And we'll see you next time.
Bye,
We shall see you next
guys.
time. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.